On Monday Live, we're going to jump into a Onshape 3D modeling tutorial. So this is going to be a tutorial that's kind of for beginners here. This is called the left-hand bracket. Now this is listed as a tier 4 part, mainly because of the rib causing the need for some additional features. But I'd say this is probably right between a tier 3 and a tier 4 part. Not super complicated, but not super easy either. And the main thing that I always instruct my students to do when they're getting started with a 3D CAD challenge is to look at the 2D print. Look at the thing that you're trying to model up. And that might be a 2D print like this, an engineering style print, or it might just be a napkin sketch. You know, maybe you've got an idea in your head and you're just going to kind of sketch it up and capture some of the key dimensions. But you want to take a look at that 2D information and then start to imagine how you're going to model that in 3D. And that process often starts with trying to figure out where a good location for the origin would be. Now, the origin is the 0, 0, 0 in your model, and that origin should probably be at a location where there's a lot of action taking place. And in the case of this model, I think that there's a lot of action taking place here at the center of this hole. And so that might be a good spot for the origin. You can see here it's 40 millimeters over to get to the center of that hole. It's 42 millimeters back here to get to the center of that hole. That might be a good location for the center of the origin. Another location for the origin that might make sense might be like this corner of the L shape, or maybe even this corner here or this corner here of the L shape. These are good options as well, because these options here might represent what the first feature is going to look like. You know, the first feature is going to come up, it's going to come over, it's going to come down, it's going to come back. Maybe you'll do it with an offset entity, but the first feature is going to be this kind of L shape that you're going to extrude. And so maybe it makes sense for the origin to be there. So there's not always an absolutely correct answer as to where the origin should be. I think in the case of this model, it probably makes sense for the origin to be where all the action is going to take place. You know, this part is going to get mated into an assembly, and it's going to get mated where the center of this hole is here, most likely. And so I think it makes sense to have the origin located there, but you could certainly deviate and locate it elsewhere, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal to recover from that. So let's say in this example, we are going to place the origin there. Now, the next question becomes, what's going to be the very first feature of this model? And this is where things maybe would get a little bit trickier, because when it comes to creating the first feature of the model, you want to think about where the origin is going to be. And you also want to think about what the overall footprint of the model is going to be. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that the very first feature certainly could look like this. It could be this shape here. We could create this shape, and then we could extrude it out to the full depth, or maybe to the depth that's shown here on this view. That certainly would work. But another thing that we could do is we could create this thing looking down from the top. So we could create this shape here. That could be our first shape. And since we've decided that the origin is going to be located here, I think that makes sense to create that as our first shape. And so this is just part of the process of going from a 2D print to a 3D model. Before you even get started working in 3D, it's good to kind of think to yourself of some different options, some different paths that you could go down to create the model. Should I create the first sketch here looking at this thing as like an L shape, or should I create the first sketch here looking at this thing as the footprint of the model? Where should the origin be located? How is that going to affect my decisions? And it's really just a good exercise to go through and maybe even model the same part a couple of different ways and see which way ends up working out the best and which way resonates with you the most. So once you decide on what your starting sketch is going to be, where your origin is going to be, now you're ready to start imagining what the rest of the model is going to look like. And so if this is going to be my first feature here, kind of straight, then I think my second feature is going to be this wall going down the side here. Then the third feature can maybe be this radius here and this radius here, third and fourth feature. Then I could start adding in maybe this circular boss that's sticking up here. I could add in the rib that's coming down the side over here, and then I could finish up with this cut here, and maybe finishing up with the fillets. And I'm going to be able to go through those features pretty quickly in Onshape now, because I've got that basic game plan. And that's where it becomes really valuable to practice this process of coming up with the game plan, because you're going to see the geometry is going to go from 2D to 3D pretty quickly now that I've settled on that game plan. So I'm going to start out here by doing a screen capture of this model. Just grab a screen capture here. I'm going to move that over onto my second screen. I'm going to jump into Onshape here. And once I jump into Onshape, let me just turn on my keyboard cam so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, what keystrokes I'm using. And we're going to choose Create Document. And this is in the public space in Onshape. So I'm going to call this 24-07-14, and I'm going to call it left-hand bracket. And that way, if you want to see what I'm doing here, if you want to watch me building this, or if you want to look at this model afterwards, all you got to do is search this file name up here, this document name in Onshape, in the free version of Onshape. So now I'm going to choose top plane, begin a sketch, orient my view. And once I get into top plane, begin a sketch, orient my view, I'm going to start drawing the geometry about that origin. So this is a circle at 26. This is going to be a circle here at 42. I'm going to create a rectangle here. So we'll create a rectangle that looks something like this. This is going to have the dimensions of, let's say, 88 in the max distance, horizontal. And then it's going to have a dimension here of, let's say we'll make that 120 in that other direction. And now I can start adding in some dimensions to locate the edge of that rectangle. So this rectangle here is going to be at 42 millimeters, and this rectangle in this direction is going to be at 40 millimeters. So you can see how that geometry switched from blue to black pretty quickly there by, you know, locking down that geometry. And that's something that we're always trying to do in 3D CAD. We're always trying to go from underdefined to fully defined. So now we could create some additional geometry just to help speed along the process as we get deeper into this model. For example, I could create a line here and then add a dimension to that line, and that dimension could be the wall thickness of the plate in the other direction. So that's 9 millimeters in that other direction. And I could also add a rectangle here, and this rectangle is going to represent that kind of notched out area. So that notched out area starts from this line here, moving down to here at 84, and it starts at 50 millimeters from this side over here. 50 millimeters. I could even go in and add in my my slot at this point. So maybe to add that slot, what I could do is I could start a line command. Now, sometimes when I'm locating geometry like this, what I'll do is I'll create some construction geometry. So I'll press Q on my keyboard, and I'll create a construction geometry line that goes up here like so, and that's going to go up to a distance of 20 to the center of that slot. And then I'll come over this way. That's going to come over this way at a distance of 14. And now I can create a solid line, so I'll press Q again and just drop in a solid line here like so. And now all I need to do is add in the 14 dimension from this edge of the model, 14, and then I can click on that line and go up here to what's called the slot command. So up in your sketching tools, you could do a slot command, and that slot is going to have a diameter of 12. And so now in just a few clicks, I was able to get that slot defined and get its location defined as well. And I think that that should pretty much do it for me as far as this first sketch goes. And so by kind of coming up with a game plan, imagining how I'm going to be building all the features, it really helps set me in the right direction for creating this first sketch. And even though it's a little complicated, it's not really overly complicated. It should still be pretty easy for me to go in and make changes if I need to. So now I'm going to do S key extrude. Every time that little menu shows up, what I'm doing is I'm pressing the S key to bring up that menu. So S key extrude, the whole sketch was selected originally. And so I'm just going to press the space bar in the background, and that clears that whole sketch. And that way I can just go through and pick the geometry that I want to extrude for this first extrusion. So maybe I'll choose to maybe just extrude this geometry where the hole is coming through, and that's going to go to a height of 9 millimeters. And I'm going to reverse the direction. I'm going to have this whole thing kind of going down from the top down. I think that just makes the most sense to me. So I'm going to extrude that first sketch. I'm going to show that sketch, and then I'm going to choose to extrude that sketch again. So I could choose the sketch or not choose it, choose extrude. Then I'm going to press the space bar to clear that selection. And now I can go through and I can just pick certain regions of this sketch. So for example, I'll choose this region here that's going to get extruded. And whoops, I just realized, oh, you know what? No, this will work out perfect. I totally did that on purpose. So I'm going to reverse the direction of that extrusion. This one is going to go down to a height of 75 max, and that's going to be an add so that those two merge together. So we'll take that down to 75. That looks pretty good there. Now maybe I could just add some filleting just to kind of make this thing look like the print. So S key fillet. And the radius on this first fillet is going to be 11 millimeters. And then I'm going to pick this edge here. And then I'm going to hold shift on my keyboard and I'm going to press enter. And so what that does is it finishes the fillet command and then takes me right back into the fillet command again. So I can just type in the new radius, pick this edge here, shift enter. Now I can type in the new radius again. This is going to be a radius of 11. And that radius is going to be applied in 5 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So by using shift enter, I was just able to kind of like daisy chain that fillet command together to do it over and over and over again. So now I've got all that geometry in place. This thing's really coming together nicely. All I need to do is S key extrude. I'm going to pick this kind of sleeve region here and bring that up to a height of 30 millimeters. And now I can just go back to the front plane, since that front plane is running through everything. And I can use that front plane to create the geometry for the rib. And so when it comes to creating a rib in Onshape, all we really need to do is just kind of define the beginning of the rib. So the rib has a dimension here of 4 millimeters from this edge of the part. So from here to here, that's going to be 4 millimeters. And the rib has an angle of 60 degrees. So we'll type in here our 60 degrees. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about taking this and extending it into the model, because when you exit the sketch and then you launch the rib command in Onshape, you can pick this rib sketch here. You can see that currently it's just taking that sketch and kind of projecting it perpendicular. Well, if you use this option here, extend profiles to part, then the rib will automatically extend itself to go up to next in this direction as well. And so that rib is going to have a wall thickness of 4 millimeters. 4 millimeters, there we go. There's that wall thickness. And now we're down to the final feature on this model. Pick this face, begin a sketch, orient the view. And for this final feature, what we could do is we could use our same trick again, where we create that construction geometry. In fact, let me just go back here. This is a trick that I picked up from watching some of the runners in the speed modeling. I'm going to go back here to before those fillets, and then I'm going to, so now you see I've got a nice sharp corner here. I'm going to pick this face, begin a sketch, S key, line, single click here, move my mouse up, single click again, and I'm going to type in 33, move my mouse over this way, single click again, I'm going to type in 42, and now I'm going to S key, jump into circle, single click here, and I'm going to turn this into a circle with a diameter of 30. And now I can S key extrude cut. So extrude, remove, through all. And that's a very quick, kind of elegant way of creating a through all hole, you know, by using the auto dimension that's built into line and just doing line to locate that hole. So just kind of a cool thing that I picked up from watching some of the other Onshape pros. And with that, I can press P to hide my planes. I can press Shift P to hide everything. I can come down here to the name of the part down here in this parts list. And I'm going to Shift N. I'll call that bracket. Don't have to rename it, obviously. I'll right mouse button, edit appearance, and I will change the appearance of this thing. This is something else you don't have to do. I'm just doing it for bonus points. And then right mouse button down here, say assign material, and that material is going to be plain carbon steel. So go down here into your materials. You can choose the TTT custom materials. This is something that's been posted in the public space as well. Plain carbon steel, and then I can choose mass properties down here in the corner. There's this icon down here in the very lower right corner, mass properties, and then pick this part. 1079 grams is the answer that I'm coming up with there. So I would type that into the chat, 1079. And if we go over to our presentation, 1085, whoops, what did I miss? Oh, did I not make the, maybe I didn't make the hole through. 1079, 1085, that's not right. Hold on, what did I miss? Oh, my rib doesn't, that rib doesn't look right, does it? Oh, the rib is 8, not 4. 8. 8, not 4. There we go, 8, not 4. So let's try this again. So we go down to mass properties down here in the corner, mass properties, and we click on that mass properties, click here, and there we go, 1085 grams. 1085 grams. We did it. That's how you do it. 1085 grams. We did it. First try. No problem. First try. 1085 grams. So that's how you do it. Rich Penn says, GG, tootalltoby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much appreciate it, Rich Penn. And that is your Onshape tutorial. If you guys enjoyed that Onshape tutorial, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to come back for more videos. But that is how you can go through and you can try to create a model from a 2D print following some kind of common best practices. All right, guys, let's go to our final answer here. Answer number 2.